we found the vacant house buried in the back of the neighborhood that August, it felt oddly familiar, like we'd been there before. Like it belonged to us. Like it was waiting for us the way a lost toy waits to be found. We named it the Christmas house because of all the decorations the owners left behind. The fake Christmas tree standing crooked in the living room, the broken ornaments scattered around the floor, the dusty wreath on the door, the red and white striped ribbons still hanging from the driveway lights that turned tan and gray. Did you know they used to tell ghost stories on Christmas Eve?
No, why would they do that?
Because it's the longest night of the year. They figured that's when ghosts will wander the earth. A for sale sign had been posted in the yard and stood crooked and faded between the weeds. We wondered what happened that final Christmas, why the owners had left so much behind. The sofa in the living room, the cracked flat screen TV, the beds upstairs, the dishes in the kitchen cupboards, the clothes, the books. They all must have died suddenly. Or were kidnapped by aliens. Or maybe they unleashed the curse by rummaging around in the attic. Whatever happened to them, they left one of the back windows unlocked. The door to the old coat chute was heavy to lift, but it was unlocked too. It was like they wanted us to come inside. It started as a game. Tommy and I dared each other to sneak in and touch the Christmas tree we seen through the window. Tommy went in first and made sure the house was empty before opening the back door for me. The inside of the house didn't disappoint. Graffiti covered some of the walls. Teenagers had left melted candles and cigarette butts upstairs along with a few empty beer cans. At least we hoped they were teenagers and not homeless men with dirty hands and violent tendencies. I figured the ghost scared them off. The power had been cut off along with heat and water, but that just added to the charm. We tiptoed along the creaking floorboards and stared at the pictures still hanging on the wall. A portrait of an old lady watched over the den. A scary man hung over the fireplace in the dining room. Black and white photos of children guarded the second floor hallway. Wedding pictures and family portraits spun stories in the foyers. I studied them closely, guessing their names, hoping to hear them whisper by candlelight. I imagined old Hilda in the den had died upstairs in her sleep. Scary Cornelius over the fireplace had clearly lost his life at sea. The married couple I called Ron and Angie bought the house 10 years earlier, not knowing it would be their undoing, not knowing it would become a tomb, frozen in time forever. We camped out in the Christmas house one night, and I waited for Hilda and Cornelius to wake up in their picture frames and wander the halls by moonlight. I listened in the dark for their voices and was disappointed not to see their empty clothes floating by. The more hours we spent in the haunted house, the less real the outside world became. We put the dead children's toys under the trees. We staged tea parties with real teacups in the dining room. We even pretended to be lords and ladies of the castle and tried on the moth-bitten clothes and dusty hats left in the closet. We pretended to be Hansel and Gretel wandering the witch's candy house. Tommy and I vowed to tell no one about our secret hideaway. Not friends, not grown-ups. We made up lies about neighbors' houses and playgrounds and forts we were building in case anyone ever asked. But oddly, in all our comings and goings, no one ever did. As the summer months turned into fall and then winter, the house grew colder and held its breath waiting. The overgrown trees that hid it from the road lost their leaves and became gnarled skeletons clawing the stone walls and slate rooftops. As the longest night of the year approached, I grew more certain the discarded Christmas tree will light up on its own, and the ghosts of the former owners will start singing carols from behind the walls. Huddled together in the dusty clothes of dead people, waiting for something to happen, Tommy read the tattered real estate listing he found curled up in the yard like a magic incantation.
3,000 square feet of old world charm, bank owned, an amazing deal. The past owners defaulted on the mortgage. That means to stop paying the bills.
Tommy was 2 years older than me and a know-it-all. It must have been the curse. Do you think it killed everyone or just the children? He wasn't obsessed with the black and white baby pictures in the hallway like me.
They say here that this was a carriage house that once belonged to the 10,000 square foot mansion over there. This house is where the servants slept.
Really? I got up and looked out the window at the stone wall running along the back of the property. On the other side of it, I could just glimpse an enormous slate roof, big enough for 5 houses between the trees. But this is just too big to be a carriage house. Our Christmas house was a 3-story castle with thick stone walls and a tower on the back that looked like ramparts.
Listen to this. A tunnel still connects the carriage house to the old manor. Wow, you hear that, Sid? There's a tunnel under the house that leads all the way over there.
That's what did it. That's what unleashed the curse.
Come on, let's check it out.
Phantom spiders tickled at my arms as we opened door after door in the dim light seeping through the dirty basement windows. Wine cellar, boiler room, graveyard of paint cans, dead pipes, skittering feet. What was that?
Probably just mice.
Tommy pointed the beam of his flashlight around the stone basement. He fixed the light on the dusty bookshelf against the back wall.
This is where the tunnel would be, right? This is the back of the house.
I don't know. I can't see anything. I looked through the dirty glass into the stone window, well covered by metal grates and snow. It was only 3 in the afternoon, but night was creeping into the sky already.
There's a hidden handle here. Check it out.
My jaw dropped when the bookshelf swung out from the wall with a solemn creak. It was a hidden door. A real hidden door like I always dreamed of finding. I ran right into Tommy's back, hoping to find the entrance to Narnia, or Middle-earth, or Wonderland. The dark passageway exhaled a rush of cold, motoring air like the final breath of a corpse. It smelled like dead leaves and ancient earth. Hairy tree roots hung from the ceiling like the nerves of the underworld. The beam of Tommy's tiny flashlight only reached about 5 feet in before being swallowed up by the belly of the beast.
Should we go inside? Don't be a baby.
Waking in the oversized peacoat I found upstairs, I followed him into the mouth of the tunnel. The ground was soft and damp under my boots. The dim light of the basement behind me vanished 3 steps in, leaving nothing but the sweating walls and Tommy's little light up ahead. I don't like this, Tommy. What if someone locked us in? The light just kept moving further away. Tommy? More skittering sounds and a shrill squeak like a broken rocking chair, and then splintered bones on the chalkboard. Something brushed past my face, brushing my cheek. I jumped, knocking into the mossy wall. The squeaks grew louder, swarming and flapping all around me. Spidery claws tangled in my hair. I swatted at them, shooting my face, catching wriggling fur, catching spiny webs. Tommy's light bobbed across the hairy ceiling, then crashed and went out.
Let's get out of here!
Reeling towards the open doorway, I covered my face and ran beside him until we spilled back onto the basement floor. A brown bird flitted between the rafters. It grabbed the perch with its shiny claws and tilted its head at me as though it was asking a question. Not a bird. A bat! Tommy, what the?
Shh. Listen.
Tommy and I looked at each other and crept closer to the basement stairs. A yellow light was burning in the kitchen above.
They must have turned the power back on.
Or it's the ghost, I thought. Hair standing on end, we tiptoed up the stairs and peered into the kitchen. The light was on over the sink. Creeping around the corner and through the dining room, we found the crooked Christmas tree blinked with red and blue and green lights. An old-fashioned record player spun on the dusty stand in the corner. The song faded into Silent Night. This was playing when it happened.
Don't be silly.
But I could see them. Old man Cornelius in the easy chair, and Grandma Hilda by the tree, and little Hansel and Gretel playing with their new toys. An evil witch hovered just outside, ready to cast some terrible spell. Was that what happened?
Look. Crap, we gotta hide.
Terrified of getting caught, I scrambled up the stairs behind him into a bedroom closet. Tommy hid down the hall. Moments later, the front door burst open and a voice swept into the house below.
As you can see, this place needs some fixing up, but it's a great price. Take a look around and let me know if you have questions.
Curious footsteps slowly wandered the first floor, opening and closing cupboards, measuring rooms, and then made their way upstairs towards the bedrooms.
This just doesn't feel right. What happened to the last owners?
I think the agent said it was a gas leak. Killed the whole family in their sleep.
Oh, that's awful. Can you imagine your life just stolen in the dark of night like that? When did it happen?
2 years ago. Right before Christmas.
How many children?
A boy and a girl.
The door to the closet opened, and all I could do was stare there with my eyes squeezed shut. I waited for the screams, for the accusations, for the questions to come bellowing out. But all I heard was the whoosh of the clothes being pushed aside. I opened my eyes to see a young couple staring right through me, like I wasn't even there.
Not much closet space.
Looking up and down, side to side, found me, but not at me.
We can fix that, honey.
You don't suppose it's haunted, do you? I just hate the thought of ghosts wandering about at night, especially children. It's bad luck.
Don't be ridiculous. There's no such thing as ghosts.
His words made me feel faint. I waited before I dared to open the door again. I found Tommy in the hallway looking up at the baby pictures on the wall. A boy, a girl. The world began to tilt as the baby stared at me. Like they were trying to guess my name. We should be getting home.
Where do you think we are, Sid? Can you remember?
But I could feel the photographs pulling at me. The world shrinking into nothing. But a little window. Me on the outside looking in. No, to go yet.
Come on, Sid. Let's go play another game. It's almost Christmas Eve.